I'm Maria from Good Choice Reading.
Wanda.
And Dee. Back to Maria. And this is Kristi Cook, author of Haven, and we're glad to have her here to interview with us at Barnes & Noble. And we're going to talk about her new book. Yay! But first, we'd like to get to know you as a person. So tell us about yourself.
Let's see, I live in New York City. I'm a mom. I have 2 small kids. And I used to be a dancer. I used to do a lot of ballet dancing. And I worked in cultural institutions here in New York City, the Museum of Natural History and American Ballet Theater for several years, writing grant proposals. And trust me, writing this is so much more fun. Never going back to that.
How old are your kids?
They are 9 and 11, both daughters.
You have 2 boys.
2 boys.
You have a boy and a girl?
Two girls.
Oh, 2 girls. Are they dancers?
One was a dancer. In fact, she was in the New York City Ballet Nutcracker last year.
Nice.
Luckily, we don't do that anymore. But no, they're more karate, figure skating, that kind of stuff. One's an artist.
Very cool. When you write about female characters, do you try to make them strong because of your daughters?
Definitely. I mean, that was one thing that was sort of always in my mind as I was writing Haven, was I wanted a female character that, could take care of herself. I didn't want her to be weak. I didn't want her to have to be rescued by a guy. I wanted the balance of power. That's the phrase I always use. A lot of, some books you read, there's this really uneven balance of power, with the guy being the one with the power.
Yeah.
And so I wanted a girl who had, a stake in the relationship where she had some of the power. And so that was always in my mind as I wrote it.
Oh,
Well, you did a good job.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Lisa had a question. Unfortunately, Lisa can't be here today with us. But her question was, when you wrote Haven, who did you envision as Aiden? And
Right. Well, that's the sad thing, is that I started writing it a while ago in 2005, and so in my mind, like I don't do it as much with the female characters, but with the male characters, I'll sometimes find a picture of an actor that just completely encapsulates the character. And so I print it out and I write the character's name and I have them taped up around my desk.
Nice.
And so I found a picture of Hayden Christensen at the time in 2005.
Oh my God.
That Hayden Christensen.
from Jumper,
Yeah, he was also Anakin in the
Star Wars.
new Star Wars, which has really tainted his image. But it's this great picture, and I meant to bring it today. And so that was my vision of Aiden. But unfortunately, that was how many years ago? He was a teenager then.
He still looks like
a grown man.
No, I
now.
can still picture it. I just saw Takers recently.
Oh.
He looks fairly
He
young
looks
still.
young.
Yeah,
But he
I can
couldn't
picture that.
play him in the movie.
With the hat. And who did you pick?
Oh, okay.
Picture, I can't remember. Violet, right?
Violet. No, the girls, I only picture in my head. I don't know
okay.
why. I guess I'm shallow. I need like a picture of a hot guy
it's okay.
to look at.
Usually, usually a lot of authors, they, go according to like who they envision
Right.
as an actor or something.
Right.
So it's always fun to know that.
Yeah, I never envisioned anyone but her in my head.
Yeah. And let me ask you one more question on my part. What is the meaning of the cover?
The cover. The cover. Here's the cover. I think, according to the artists, the people at Simon & Schuster, is the books are school, and the butterfly represents Violet, and she's sort of transformed in the book. She goes from this really unhappy with the way her life is, and she has this psychic gift. And at the beginning, it makes her really unhappy. It's like a horrible thing. It makes her see terrible things about people that she cares about. But it's not the kind of thing, if you tell people that you see visions of the future, they'll think you're crazy. So it's not something she can really talk about, and so it's a bad part of her life. And then through the course of the story, and from coming to Winter Haven, she transforms into this person that understands her power, and she still may not love it, but at least she feels a little more in control, and not that she's just a victim.
Yeah.
So the butterfly is her transformation.
Okay.
All right. With the paranormal genre being so popular, what do you think will stand out from your book?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
I mean, I like to think that the biggest element is the school. To me, the school is almost like a character. in itself. That here's this school, and my husband thinks it's like X-Men, but I'm like, they're not superheroes. You know, they're not mutants. They're just regular kids who have powers. And then there's this school that's not really hidden away. It's, you know, a regular school that they all are like that.
Drawn to it, though.
They're drawn to it, right?
Yeah, it's
and
not
I don't
something
even really
that,
explain that, how they're drawn to it. Like, I don't even really think it's necessary to get into it. They just are.
No, I don't think so either. I think that was good.
Right, they're just drawn to it, and then they're in this world, this haven, where everybody's like them. They don't have to hide who they are, and so, you know, to me, a lot of it is about the school, and so, and then the psychic powers.
Yeah, I think that's what stands out the most. That everyone has individual abilities or talents.
Right.
You know, so.
Tell us about the very first thing you've ever written, creatively, of course.
Creatively. I've been writing stories since I was little. I mean, you can dig out in my mom's house, you know, little books that I made. I remember this one story with this pony. It was like this pony, and its mom got shot. Like, I clearly had just seen Bambi. I was probably like 4.
Oh my God.
I've always been.
See, Bambi's not all fun.
No. Bambi was traumatic. But basically what happened is, as I grew older, it was almost like fan fiction in my head. Like, if there was a movie that I loved and was obsessed with, which that is what I do, I get obsessed with movies and books.
I'm the same way.
Are you the same way?
Yes, he is.
But
I become a.
do you lie awake at night and like think up? Exactly. So then you're a writer. You need to be writing.
What do you want your readers to get out of Haven? Like, I know it must be nerve-wracking, first of all, waiting for it to be released and stuff, but is there anything that you hope your readers get from Haven?
I mean, I just want it to be fun. I just want it to be a really fun read. Like, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not doing anything really original, but I just want it to be fun. And, you know, you want them to fall in love with your characters. I mean, that's the big thing. You want them to fall in love with the guy.
Which I didn't have a hard time doing.
No, we definitely got the effect.
So we have a question from Yara from Once Upon a Twilight, and she wanted to know if you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
So a real person, dead or alive, not a fictional character.
Well, actually, you know what? She never said. So
anyone you choose.
Okay, this is gonna sound really weird. Jane Austen.
Oh my gosh, my best friend would do that too.
You know, she just managed to write these books that, you know, was so long ago. Was it like 200 years ago at this point? And we love them today. And they can be translated into modern stories, you know, like Clueless, and it's the same story. And the fact that she was able to do that in a time when, you know, there weren't a lot of female writers. She wrote sort of under a pseudonym to start with. She didn't get famous at all during her lifetime, but, you know, she was just able to write these stories that touched so many people for so long, and I love all her. I mean, to me, they are like the grandmother of the modern, you know, romance, and that's, you know, Havens definitely has a romance in it, and for a lot of people, I think it's the romance that really draws the reader in. I think we owe it all to Jane. And I'd love to sit down
those strong female characters. Like, I think people on our blog, they probably get sick of me saying it, but every book I read, I'm like, I like a book depending on how strong the female character is. You know, so if the woman is just like out there, I was telling I was reading the Girl Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Oh my God, the female character is so wonderful, and there are secondary characters who are women who are so strong, and that's why I liked Haven too, because you don't want that female character who's still, I'm a damsel in distress, you know?
And none of Jane Austen's heroines were.
Exactly.
I mean, all of her. I talk about that balance of power I was talking about. I mean, she had poor Darcy, you know, the man could barely speak. He was out doing fencing to try to, you know, tamp down his lust for this woman. You know, and that was in a day when women really didn't have any power. You know, and so for these characters in all her books to have that kind of power, you gotta love her.
Yeah. We have another question from Skyla. Her name is Raquel, and her blog is Skyla11377. She says, "Hey Kristi, I was wondering what you hoped your readers would walk away with after reading Haven," which we sort of covered already.
Fun, mostly fun, but again, you know, a female having a balance of power. I think that's important. That, you know, they're not just sitting around waiting to be rescued.
And then we also have from Amanda at Another Book Junkie. She says, is there any advice you would give to aspiring writers that you've learned from the writing and or publishing process for Haven?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, really just keep writing. You know, I always say no effort is wasted. That, you know, even if you're writing a book now and, you know, it's got problems and you're not sure you're ready, I mean, you just keep writing it. Like the process of being able to write a book from beginning to end, it's really daunting. And once you get to the end and realize that you can do it, like, well, maybe this isn't the book that you need to be sending to an agent. Maybe this isn't going to be your first book, but that's okay. Like, it's perfectly fine to set it aside in a drawer.
And start something else.
And start over.
Yeah.
And absolutely start over. And everything that you learned writing that first book is going to make that next book. That's just the way it is.
I have a question. What hobbies did you have as a child?
Other than reading?
Other than reading,
Because
obviously.
I was always reading.
I know,
had
me too.
my nose in a book
Me too.
constantly. But no, I was a dancer. I was ballet. You know, every day of the week. I was then in a professional company for a couple years in high school where I had to like have early release at high school to leave and go. And I was a cheerleader until dancing got in the way, and then I had to quit the cheerleading. And then I had an injury with my dancing, and that was that for a while. But I didn't have time for anything else, really. I mean, the ballet was my life.
Is there anything you wish that you didn't take out or you added? Without giving away spoilers.
Right. Well, that's the hard part. I'm never, like, some writers will say, oh, yes, I'm done. That's it. You know, they know when they're done. I literally, and I tell my editor this all the time, like, she has to pry out of my hands every draft. Like, I am never done with it. So now when I go back, I'm like constantly saying, oh, I wish I could change that. But it's nothing major. It's not big story elements. It's just like turns of phrase. Like, I'll think that sentence sounds awkward. But the overall story itself, I'm okay.
This is a totally different question. What is your writing process? You know, what do? You have to listen to music? Do you have to, you know, be alone?
Yeah, I do have to be in my office, which I have like a home office, and you know, I've tried. I have a laptop. I try to write in other places. It just doesn't happen. I have to be in my office with my desktop computer. And other than that, you know, there's nothing. Sometimes I have music on. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll play one song on a loop. That sort of gives me the ambiance that I'm looking for.
Do you have a soundtrack for Haven or no?
You know,
That's a good question.
I only sort of do, and mostly the songs that I listen to while I was writing it are just songs that I always listen to all the time.
Yeah.
So they're not necessarily Haven specific.
And did you know your book was going to be called Haven, or did it take
No,
you?
I originally called it Mirage, was its original title. It was Mirage, because I'm sure you can, if you've read it, you understand like everything is sort of Mirage. But after they bought it, I just suddenly struck me that Haven was a really good name, and I remember, yeah, I called her and said, "How do you feel about Haven?" Because she liked Mirage, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we like that." She said we could do some really cool things with the V, which they kind of did.
So, but all right, I want to thank you so much for meeting with us
and
letting us interview you for our blog.
It was fun.
For a while, we wanted to do something like this because, you know, we just wanted to do something different. I said, wouldn't it be cool? So when you gave us the chance, we jumped right on it. Thank you so much.
It's amazing. There aren't many people around here.
Well,
no, there isn't.
Second book.
Yes.
Yes.
Let there be a second book.
Or and look out on Good Choice Reading because we will be giving away a copy of Haven when it is released. We're probably going to put a giveaway soon for a pre-order, so look out for that. So is there anything you want to say?
I just hope you enjoy it, that's all. I hope you have fun.
You will.
February 22nd, go out there and buy it. You won't regret it.
Bye.